Hi, I'm Murphy Griffin.
I'm Madison Taylor.
And welcome to episode 7 of Neophyte Boat Rights. In this episode, we make the drive all the way to Cornwall, Connecticut from Jacksonville, Florida, so we can get the white oak we need for our boat.
So let's get to it.
So we're headed to Cornwall, Connecticut to visit New England Naval Timbers. There they have some of the most prime white oak stock air-dried specifically for boat building applications. It's a long way to drive, almost 16 hours, to get to Cornwall, but well worth it. Not only for the white oak that they have in stock, but also to meet Duke Besozzi. Duke is one of the last remaining sawyers in the U.S. whose specialty is cutting timbers for large wooden boats. He's worked on a lot of big important projects, most recently helped Acorn to Arabella with their gigantic keel, and just a week before we showed up he was helping Sampson Boat Co with deck beams. So we're really excited to meet him. It took us the better part of 2 days, but we finally rolled into New York City just in time to be bedazzled by all the lights in the skyline. It was then just a short trip through a labyrinth of interstate to Connecticut, where we'd lined up a place to stay through Couchsurfer in Hartford. We made it to Hartford with enough time to go grab some beers and check out some live music. It was then time to turn in for the night and prepare for Cornwall.
Nice cut back there. It's better? Yeah.
Having arrived in Hartford late in the night, we hadn't appreciated just how cool the house we were staying in was until the next morning. It was an old 3-story Victorian that was located near the heart of downtown Hartford. It was once our couchsurfing host's primary residence, but now served as a sort of multi-unit rental. He filled it with a slew of oddities and curiosities, modern art and antiques. He made us feel incredibly welcome and even had a little DIY breakfast set up for us, replete with Hello Kitty toaster, English muffins, and strong coffee. And so, with our bellies filled and our brains caffeinated, we are ready to head to Cornwall in search of white oak for our keel and stem and stern post. There was something immediately transporting about New England Naval Timbers. It was a misty, wooded lot, a huddle of heavy-duty logging equipment, and an old, broken-down Toyota truck out front. There was a small blue shack that was billowing small clouds of smoke from its chimney. And when we peeked through the crack in the door, we could see Duke Besozzi snug on a couch taking a nap. A little wanting. Yeah. We brought a camera, if that's okay. We wanted to do some filming, if you don't mind.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Is that okay?
This is my friend Madison. He's helping me, he's part of the boat building project.
Very nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Yeah.
Well, sorry to wake you.
Oh, no.
Well, it's that kind of day too. I mean, why not,
Sleepy
right?
Day.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we're doing with the project that's really important to us is trying to showcase boat building culture, people part of the community and the industry. We really want to just link everything together. As a part of also documenting the boat that we're building, we're also trying to do interviews and just give people a platform to promote themselves and talk about their stories and so on and so forth. And I would love to do an interview with you. Since we're already cozy here, seems like a reasonable time to do it.
Yeah, why don't you close the doors? I was born right here in Cornwall, this very rural agricultural area. I was born on a dairy farm. And I was familiar with sawmills ever since I was a kid. I was a reader when I was a grammar school kid, high school kid. And I read a lot about the sea, especially the schooner fleet out of Gloucester, Grand Bank schooners. And kept that in my mind and went along with developing through high school and university. And then I got my degrees and all that, and I really didn't use them for what I was trained for. I went into, became a logging contractor when I was young and fit, 30s, 40s, and 50s. And we have really nice white oak in this area. Quercus alba, the one you want for backbone material for wooden ships. In the 80s, it may have been 79 or 80, I was locating trees for Mystic Seaport. Dana Hewson at the time was the guy that was in the yard, and he'd come up here. And I think we were looking for eastern white pine for yards, maybe bowsprit. And I'd find them because I was a logging contractor. I knew where all the good woodlots were. And so that was great fun. And then I started to learn more. And then I said, I can do this myself. One of those eureka moments, like I started to save the big white oak logs. And then I bought a little band mill and started to saw lumber out. And things sort of just, like all things in life, I was a confluence of luck and many aspects of it, luck. There was a resurgence in wooden boats, the interest in wooden boat restoration and building. So it just sort of took off very quickly. And by the time we got to the 90s, I was pretty well doing a lot of big boats. I saw one-piece keels, 40, 50 feet long. So there's no scarf joints. It's very, and very big pieces too. So and another drawing is natural sweep futtock stock, white oak that grew this way, conforms to the frame on your vessel. Knees, hanging knees. Started to look for trees that had limbs coming out almost perpendicular to the stem, saving those. Figured out how to saw them. We've got 2 different mills. Well, we have 3 now. All of that added to a niche market that nobody else really bothered with.
So some of your stock, I imagine, has been around for a little while.
Yes, I air dry. We start out, take the log, and we break it down into much heavier flitches, and then put it up for air drying. And then after 2 years, pretty much how stable or not stable it is. Rather than just off the saw using it, it's not a good policy. So a really stable piece of wood, there'll be maybe a small check just as it's drying. An unstable piece, there'll be a major check. And lots of checking, surface checking. So that gets recycled to something else. So what distills out are the ones that, for re-sign, are stable.
So what are some of the more notable vessels you've cut keels for, or other structural members?
Well, comes to mind, there was about 15 years ago, there was a real resurgence in restoring the Harrisoff New York 30s, 40s. and 150. And it's the last remaining 50 in the world.
I've never heard of a 50.
Yeah, New York 50. Ed McClave and Andy Gibling and Phil Brick down in Noank. Anyway, I know these guys come here quite a bit. They got the entire backbone here. They got the keel and the frames. And these are steam bent frames. It's a big boat. And they're not sawn frames. I worked about 8 years ago now, finishing the yards and bowsprit on the Charles W. Morgan at Mystic. Located a lot of big trees for them, and we actually harvested some right down the road here in Cornwall Bridge. The yards, they were 70 feet long and still 15 inches at 70 feet. And they have all the capacity at Mystic to mill those into yards. And the schooner fleet in mid-coast Maine. I do a lot of work on those boats because they're constantly needing maintenance. Mm-hmm. And the Coast Guard mandates that, so they call here for planking or frames or things that over time go wrong with a wooden ship.
Have you built a boat?
No, never have. No, I'm around boat carpenters all the time.
Right.
You know, I marvel at their work. No, I'm pretty busy here just finding the parts.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny you should ask because I always wanted to, but it just seems like time is always just don't have it. So.
Yeah. What is it about white oak in particular that makes it suitable for centerline structural timbers? Why is it coveted in the boat building community? What's its material properties, etc.? Yeah,
that's a good question. Everything built in New England was Quercus alba. It's rot resistant. It's completely opposite of red oak, which will rot in no time. It's closed vessel, so it doesn't sop up water, and fresh water is the medium for wood decay over time. And you can get it it grows fairly large, and if you know where to find them, you can find them long enough to get the one-piece keels that I'm known for. Mm-hmm. White oak, that's the one to go for.
Yeah. So do you yourself harvest the trees, or are you getting a lot of stuff that has already been felled or fallen, or how's it?
I did for 40 years.
Yeah.
I cut timber myself 40 years, and I stopped actually 2 years ago. Had some health issues, and I missed that a great deal because that was my life. You know,
yeah.
It was, do you want to see some of those big pieces? Pull a tarp off and photograph some of those?
Yeah, we definitely want to go get out there and look at some wood for sure.
Yeah,
and we're obviously here to buy some wood. Yeah. So, yep, great.
Get my boots on.
So we toured the grounds with Duke, and he even helped us search a while for the wood we needed for our keel, stem, and stern post. We told him we were novices and didn't know much about wood selection, and he was more than willing to oblige.
They would be resawn into, let's say, a stern post or...
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And pith is here. Mm-hmm. So as you go out, this part would be sawn out because that's no good. But all of this is vertical grain, where the annual growth rings are going up and down. And that's very, very stable. Perfect for a stern post or many other components. You can resawing for footing. You want to try to find your keel?
Yeah, we're looking for a keel, and we also wanted to get some. I was talking to you about some swept stock for a stem.
Right.
So these are. That's your stern post. Mm-hmm. Yep. And this is the stem. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we're looking for that wise, and then otherwise, just a nice good 8/4, 16, 18 foot long.
Yep. Okay.
Something along those lines.
Mainly 8-foot by the looks of it.
Definitely wider.
Yeah. And too friggin' wide.
Yeah, holy cow. Some really big wood. Yeah.
You get a lot more vitamin D than I do. We're down there in Florida. New England is
these pieces need to mill down to 2 inches.
Yeah.
So we're looking for about 2.5. When we're looking for something like this, when we have a gentle enough sweep as this is, I mean, we don't necessarily need to find a swept log.
No, you find something that's isn't wide enough to accommodate it.
That's fine. What are we looking at here? That's good. I mean, it's a little heavier than we need, but better more than not enough.
I
right?
think so.
Yeah.
So
that could work.
Probably you could get 2 out of this.
Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like you could.
So we cut it off, a few feet ahead up there.
Right.
'Cause this is
Just
no
a
good
little
down here.
checking. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would, to be safe, I'd go up to like a little more like that.
Like there.
We got it. Can you see underneath anything on the surface?
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Okay, we got those 2 pieces. Yippee!
All right.
All right. Very good. I'll leave them right there just so we know.
Yeah.
All right. I don't drive 16 hours without a plan, damn it.
When I was your age, I used to do that.
Right.
I would get a call, and not so long ago, like 20 years ago. I'd get a call in Ohio of a big log.
Yeah.
I'd take off at 3 in the morning. I'd be in Ohio.
I gotta go get that log.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 in the morning. Jesus
I can't
Christ.
imagine doing that now.
It's like if the log ain't going nowhere now. See another visitor here.
Yeah, he's my old friends. I went to first grade with.
First grade.
Yeah, they're 72. We're all the same age. We're
Right.
all alive.
That's
friggin'
important.
amazing.
Yeah.
Hi, Dodie. Hi, Dan.
Jiffy looking.
Oh, they're making a documentary on they're building a boat and they're all the way from Florida.
Yep.
Never met a Quercus alba I couldn't put on the water. The Besozzi story.
Exactly.
You know what? I'm gonna sit down for a minute.
Go ahead.
Why don't you
Point us
guys
in a direction.
Yeah, go over there and look for that something that's 12 inches wide to
Yep.
accommodate the keel.
Yep.
You might have to dig in there, and if not, we'll have to get a wider piece from another pile.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah,
take your time.
Yeah, just go.
With the stem and the stern post accounted for, we then started rifling through Duke's many stockpiles of white oak in search of a piece big enough for our keel. We quickly discovered that it was tough to find a piece that accommodated the thickness, width, and length of our keel while also having the ideal grain configuration for stability and longevity. So it looked like we were going to have to get our piece out of a much larger timber, but since Duke had retired from milling the wood himself, meant we had to come back the next day to work with Jimmy, his band mill operator. This piece is a beaut. She's got the right length.
It's kind of hard, isn't it?
It's just way too thick.
Yeah.
So we need to resaw it. It seems pretty clear to me. Looks like there's a knot right here.
You might be able to orient that around that knot. If you got enough width.
Uh-huh.
That would be near the coming up to the 4 foot.
Right, and it's pretty narrow up
Yeah, I was going to say.
forward. Yep.
Okay, that would probably work.
So it's all contingent on whether if Jimmy wants to come out on a Sunday and help us out. Or,
Oh no, he's really good that way.
yeah.
Where are you guys staying tonight?
Well, we're debating, as crazy as it sounds, driving out to Mystic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're doing a big sea shanty thing out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I know what
an annual event, and
Oh, that'd be fun.
it'll be fun. Yeah.
Then you can come back tomorrow.
Exactly.
Okay.
All ye bold hero, isn't it to be sung? Singing the praise of good brandy and rum. It's the clear crystal fountain near England shall roll. Give me the punch ladle, I'll fathom the whole. I'll fathom the whole. I'll fathom the whole. Give me the punch ladle, I'll fathom the whole. From France, we do get brandy. From Jamaica comes rum. Sweet oranges and apples. From Portugal come. But stout and strong cider are England's control.
So that was episode 7. Join us for episode 8, where we'll be returning to New England Naval Timbers to resaw our keel, pick up all the lumber for our boat, and make the return drive home to Florida.
Yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed the first part of our trip to Connecticut. If you guys are enjoying the series, don't forget to like and subscribe below, and check out our Patreon and consider becoming a patron. We want to do a lot more of these trips. It's definitely one of our favorite parts of the project, but we need your support to help us do it.
And so on that note, we have 4 new patrons. Much thanks to Dave Pritchard, William Salai,
Jeffrey Wright, and Andrew Davies.
Thanks y'all. Bye.